Hi everyone, I'm Becky Livingston with Penheel Marketing, and today I want to talk to you about outsmarting the algorithm, SEO hacks, tips, and tricks. Here's a little bit more about me and who I deal with as far as clients. I specialize in accounting firms, but definitely take a look. There's a lot of opportunity to work with me on many different levels. So, what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about ice breaking, the SEO landscape, what's in, what's out, some of the hacks that actually work in 2025, AI and SEO, the new dynamic duo. We know that it's taking over the world. Local and voice search, surprise gold mines there. And we're going to do a little quick fire 7 SEO tricks in 7 minutes. And then we'll do a bonus round of SEO tools and resources to wrap some things up. Definitely check out this freebie over here 20 SEO prompts for AI driven marketers in 2025. That's a fun one. And I'll put a link to that in the description as well so you can grab that. So raise your hand if you've ever actually made an effort to throw your laptop out the window. I know it's terrible. Things can drive you crazy with stuff. So I've got this little SEO audit case study that I did with a client, and they shared some tips about things that they wanted to be found for and what we did to make sure that things went well for them. That really, moved the needle for the year. So why is SEO different now? Here's what's in and what's out and what you're not being told. So here's what's in. The search engine experience optimization, or SXO. It's not just about keywords anymore. It's about making the entire experience seamless and satisfying. Topic clusters and content velocity. You just can't write one blog anymore. You want to think about your hub and spoke topics, subtopics, content that's going to drive interest in whatever it is you're talking about. Of course, video and voice first SEO. What does that mean? They're core and they're not optional. If you haven't been doing video, you're really missing out on some opportunities. So take a look at what you can create into video. For example, I've got this slide deck. What did I do? I dropped it in ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT to come up with a video script for me. Am I reading it word for word? Absolutely not. But I'm using it as a guide as I move through the slide deck. And then, of course, you've got your EEAT and trust signals. Those are baked in. Google wants content that shows expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. How much do people actually pay attention to your content? Do they like it? Do they link and click and do things with your content? And then, of course, there's the AI content detection. Here it is. Your content has to balance the human value with AI efficiency. And if you're not doing that, you may be losing out because AI detectors can absolutely tell if your stuff is created using AI. So let's talk about some hacks and let's get some technical tips in here. First, click content. Use intent based outlines. Answer the question immediately. Don't bury the lead. You want to get your answer in there quickly because people just don't read anything anymore. We've also got meta titles and descriptions, make them promise driven and specific. For example, don't say tax planning tips, blah, 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 boring. Instead, say 2025 tax planning checklist for dental practices. It's very specific. You've got the year, you have the industry, and you have the thing. What is this thing that I'm talking about, the tax planning checklist? And you want to match the search format to the type of content. For example, how to's are tutorials, best ofs are listicles, and why? Those are explainers. So think about how you can put your content together in one of those buckets. There's about 5 different kinds of format matches. And if you want to see how that works, definitely check out SEMrush because they give you some intent keywords and how things are organized. Headers. We all know what they are. So use the headers to mirror your search query. For example, if someone types how to set up payroll for construction workers, your H2 or H3 heading should say that. How do you find these things? You can use Answer the Public, you can use SEMrush, Ahrefs. There's all kinds of tools out there to help you figure out what these keyword phrases might be. Add your trust signals, bios, publish dates, testimonials, internal links. They all help with authority. So, absolutely, these things are really important as you're thinking about your keywords and as you're thinking about your hacks. Now, here's some details. These are exactly what I was just talking about. Your first click content, nail that meta description, make them descriptive and promise driven, deliver the answer in the first 100 words, state the solution clearly up front, and then match your content format. There's some more. Those headers that I just talked about, mirror the query, add your trust signals, include author bios, date stamps, and internal links. Here's a tip: Google Search Console or GA4 can help you find your keyword associated with pages where you're getting impressions but not clicks. This is where your first click intent optimization can make an immediate impact. So you're paying attention. It's an easy one to look at. Go to your Google Search Console or your GA4 and look for those keywords. Long tail keywords, absolutely, we know what they are, we know how they work. So as we start thinking about long tail keywords, they do still matter in 2025, and it's all about the narrative. So here's the difference. Before, in an example, accounting systems for small construction companies help track expenses. Okay, fine. After, here's the difference. When Lewis launched his construction company in Harrisburg, he didn't expect a $15,000 budget overrun. Do you see the difference? One's a story and one's kind of blah. So you see the shift? It's relatable, it's real, and it ranks. Use AI tools to brainstorm some scenarios. I've been putting scenarios in my clients' content for a while now. And I might do it with an image, I might do it with a sidebar, I might do it with a podcast or a voiceover or even a short video to help me get them to incorporate natural stories into their content. So, why does it work? Google's machine learning and AI search can detect storytelling, tone, structure. Yeah. Users are tired of robotic template style posts. They want relatable, experience driven content. And long tail keywords often align with real world scenarios and problems. So, makes sense, right? As we think about the next step, start out with your real world scenario. How you can introduce something that makes sense to your clients, to your audience. Drop in the keywords naturally into your content and build empathy and relatability. And then finally, resolve the story with some actionable steps. Provide solutions, give them some tips, use a bulleted summary. Here's a quick tip, and I love using AI for this. It can help you brainstorm your customer personas and their problems if you don't know what they are. And when I talk to clients, you'd be amazed how many people don't know what they are. So then reverse engineer that long tail keyword phrase and try this prompt. Write a blog paragraph or a blog opening paragraph using the keyword phrase, how to set up accounting systems for small construction companies, told from the perspective of a new business owner who's overwhelmed. So, what that does is it gives you search intent plus your storytelling SEO gold. Long tail keywords are no longer about fitting in the words, it's about fitting it into a real world experience. So, here's the example: how to set up accounting systems for small construction companies. It's a little repetitive. The language is kind of bleh, doesn't connect with the reader. It's likely to bounce. But after, our story driven is natural. It's a natural story. We talk about someone, how they actually increased their budget. Um, and we made it engaging, relatable, trustworthy. Keywords were included organically by telling a story. Internal linking. Oh my gosh, it's your unsung hero. Now, here's a sneaky hack: link to content with your highest dwell time, not just related posts. That's a hack that I've been using for years. It's a fantastic way to keep people on page because other people have already said they like it. Use your GA4 to find your sticky content, then send traffic from there to newer posts. So let's take a look at this one. It still matters, internal linking. It helps search engine to understand your content hierarchy. So when you're thinking about your hub and spoke, your hub is the main topic, your spoke is subtopics around that topic. It'll pass the link equality test, that's the SEO value, from high performing pages to newer or lower traffic pages, and it will keep paid people engaged on your page a little bit longer. Why it works. High dwell time equals high value in Google's eyes. Linking users to pages that naturally hold interest and attention reduces bounce rate, which you definitely want. And more time spent on your site equals stronger engagement. That's the authoritative and trustworthiness in the EAT score. So, how do you do it? I talk about it here. And I'll put the link to the map these to newer or under poor performing pages. I'll definitely link that in the description as well. But add a teaser or curiosity gap in the link. For example, here's how one contractor saved $12,000 in taxes by adjusting one workflow. Are you kidding me? I'd read that. Use tools like Link Whisper, that's a WordPress plugin, or Surfer SEO to automate some of this for you. Fantastic stuff. Next, I want to talk about a mapping diagram. Now, Google isn't the only game in town. We know that. Bing is built into Microsoft Copilot, Apple Search dominates Siri, and Spotlight AI search is skipping traditional search engines altogether. So, as you're thinking about internal linking, this kind of is a rehash of what I just talked about. You have a blog post, link it to high dwell content, add related posts, and then other kinds of content. So, internal linking is a big deal. So, this is kind of the structure you want to think about. So here we've got our search engines. They're not all the same, but they do a lot of different things. They're getting smarter with AI. Siri and Spotlight could launch a standalone search engine soon. DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Ecosia, even Amazon Search is becoming a key player. So don't forget AI search. Ooh, how could we? It's the new front door. Engines rely heavily on structured data, crawlable pages, and frequently asked content. So definitely look at that. For example, I just did some blog posts for clients about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. We did individual 10 FAQs, business 10 FAQs. That content will definitely hit the AI searches. And here's a hack for you about optimizing for multiple search engines using structured data. So, structured data is a standard way to label your content using schema.org. That's a great way to do it. I also have a tip sheet that I'm going to link to in the description. It helps search engines to interpret and display your content more effectively, which you definitely want. Think rich snippets, knowledge panels, carousels, even voice responses. You can use ChatGPT to generate structured data faster, and there's a prompt right there on the JSON on how you can use it. And then there's the freebie, and I'll definitely link to that in the description below. Let's talk about AI SEO in the new dynamic duo. Woohoo! Prompts are making magic happen, aren't they? Yeah, so prompting for AI SEO search. Act when you're using AI tools. Act as an SEO strategist. Put that in your prompt because then the agent that you're using, whether it's Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, Jasper, Perplexity, it doesn't matter. HubSpot doesn't matter. Act as an SEO strategist and then ask it to create a cluster. Doesn't need to be 1,000 words. It could be smaller than that. 4, and then put in your term with a zero keyword overlap. What this is going to do is it's going to create a new keyword spoke for your hub. Your hub is the topic that you wanted to create the keyword list for. And then it's going to create a spoke of ideas that you can create content that associates with that. Here's a hack. You can use Claude or Gemini for AI content that sounds more human if those are your preferred tools. Here's some tools that you should know. Surfer SEO, Jasper, ChatGPT. Those are a great SEO trio. ScaleNut for clustering and briefs. Keyword Insights for intent mapping. And then Neuron Writer for natural language processing optimization. That's what NLP stands for. Definitely give this a try. Then we've got our local and voice search. These are gold mines. Google Business Profile. If you haven't done it, why? If you have a brick and mortar location, if you are in a suite in a building, definitely do your Google Business Profile. There's some FAQs that you can put in there. You can use your schema for this. Lots of tips. I have a ton of blog articles about this. Also, CPA Practice Advisor, I've shared tips over there. Think about voice friendly formatting. It's like a reading level. I usually use sixth grade reading level, but you could go lower, you could go higher. It depends on your audience for short answers. And then here's a tip, use Answer the Public to find spoken phrases that people actually use. So you can use it in your local and voice search. Those are going to be your prepositional phrases. When you look at Answer the Public, it gives you a big wheel of different things, and you can look at the questions. Look at those how to and where can I find and best of kind of things. Here's some different kinds of prompts that you might want to look at. So we've got Google Business Profile hacks, local call to action writing prompts, geo specific content ideas. Great one here. Voice friendly formatting tips. And then, of course, we've got some additional things. All of this, I'm going to also put a link to this slide deck so you can actually get your hands on the hard copy of this so you can copy and paste these prompts out. And I'll put that in the description as well. And then, of course, there's some more prompts. Find voice-like phrases from Answer the Public. Oh, how about that? You don't even have to use Answer the Public. It'll do it for you. Summarize the top question style phrases for. Fill in your topic, and it will give you the list. Turn spoken queries into blog ideas. Love that. That's a couple things you can do there. So now you've got your topic. Not only are you putting it in your Google profile as a FAQ, you're creating blog content. You can turn that blog content into a podcast. If you don't know about, what is it called? Google LM, is that what it's called? Let me look. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's something like that. I'm losing my mind. I can't think of what it's called, but I think that's what it's called, Google LM. Definitely look at that because it'll take your blog content and make a podcast out of it. It is fantastic. Um, and then create voice optimized content. There you go. There's your prompt right there. Next, here's some quick fire SEO tips in 7 minutes. Schema markup. There's a QR code right there. That will link you to my JSON schema markup handout. Definitely take a look at that. It includes everything using how do you use authors, how do you use courses, how do you use FAQs, and it will give you the tips on how to do that. Look at Reddit and Quora for content ideation. What are people talking about? Why are they talking about them? Recycle old blogs into video scripts. Absolutely. Or podcast scripts. Easy peasy. You can drop it in any of these AI tools and it will create a podcast script. Or if you're using LM, you can drop the text in there and it'll create the podcast for you. Add 2025 to your URLs for evergreen SEO. Now that's a little bit tricky because if the content is still relevant in 2026, you don't want it to say 2025 because people think it's a year old. So be careful with that. Build topical authority, not just backlinks. Optimize images. Big deal. Optimize your images for zero-click search content. And then ask ChatGPT to rewrite this at a third grade. I use sixth grade level to boost your mobile time. Here's your bonus round. Here's some tools. ChatGPT, Keyword Everywhere, Screaming Frog to audit your site, ClearScope or Surfer SEO, and SEO Minion. That's a free Chrome plugin. Love those. Some learning resources. Google Search Central Blog, great resource. Search Engine Roundtable, another one. Ahrefs YouTube channel, great stuff out there. SEMrush Academy, absolutely. Oh, yeah, and how about that? Our blog. So, what do you want to do when you get done with this? Here's three things. Try an AI prompt SEO cluster for your niche. Run a content audit and add schema to your top 5 pages. And then experiment with one of the search engine optimized pages. That's your takeaway. Here's who I am, a little bit more who we are. I will drop the links to some of these files in the description. If you like this, definitely click subscribe or give us a like out on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.